Live, Jill Simone Day, June 6th. I would like all of you watching on Facebook or YouTube, I believe. Yes, Cam? Yes, Cam is running the tech site as usual. Thank you to Cam. All of you, tell me where you're from. Tell me what state you're in or maybe what country you're in if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. We are live. Again, Jill Simonian with PragerU Kids, and we like to hop on and say hello and bring you the latest headlines about what is happening in schools. I do want to say, since today is June 6th, in the for the purposes of staying educated, today is recognized as D-Day. Holler in the comments if you know and remember what D-Day is. I hope that everyone does remember what D-Day is. Of course, it was the infamous day during World War II, when the U.S. Army, who was led by, of course, General Eisenhower, and the Allies invaded Normandy, France. It was a successful invasion that led to the defeat of Nazi Germany to liberate the people from Hitler's tyranny. We know that thousands died. We know that the young men from the United States and the Allies went to their death. Young men as young as 19, 20, some maybe even younger. Normandy, France it's a sacred place. D-Day is a sacred day that we should all remember as parents, caregivers, grandparents, children. We do need to teach our children what happened on this day, because if we lose our history and we lose knowledge of our history as Americans, we will no longer have a country anymore. We thank all who fought and who continue to fight for freedom. And not to start on doom and gloom, but that was a sacred day. That was a sacred day that we remember today, June 6th. Again, tell me where you're from. I'm going to try and follow along to see where all of you are from before we get to this headline about punches being thrown at a North Hollywood elementary school in the last week over a Pride assembly. I want to see where all you all are from. Is the video working? The video is not working on my Facebook here. Oh, as I look at it, here it is. All right, let's see if I can see the comments. Oh, Cam, my video is frozen on Facebook. If I'm frozen on your Facebook, people, let us know, although I can't really see. Am I going? You can see? Okay, good. All right, well, I cannot see the comments right now on my phone, so I want to continue with this headline. And I am getting a little bit of feedback. I can hear what's going on over there. Stay with me, guys, while we get to the tech stuff. Okay, good. Tech is good. Tech is good. Bullhead, Arizona. Hello from Pacific Palisades, California. Lakewood, New Jersey. Missouri. Concord, New Hampshire. Somebody said waste of time. Oh, sad. If it's a waste of time, I hope you tune out. Boulder, Colorado. All right. Good to see where all you from. Let's get to the headline here. Saticoy Elementary in North Hollywood is part of Los Angeles Unified School District. And there's a lot that's been happening. There's always a lot that happens here in California, especially now that we are in what has been designated as Pride Month across the country, of course. For the students who still are in schools, this is a very complex time for many parents and families who do not agree with certain types of sex education and ideologies being taught to young students in elementary school during the month of June. In a broad summary, I want to tell you what happened on the campus of Saticoy Elementary in North Hollywood last Friday. I believe it was June 2nd. It's been all over the news here in Southern California, and I'm guessing, some of you may have already seen it nationwide. What happened on Friday, June 2nd, was a Pride Day assembly that the school organized and designated to happen. Again, this is an elementary school. And in short, there was a book that was going to be read at this Pride Day assembly called The Great Big Book of Families. There is a mention about gay parents in this book. The parents, many parents, some reports from various news organizations are saying 100 parents, over 100 parents. I think I saw 100 parents cited by the Los Angeles Times. But parents protested this assembly happening at the elementary school, citing that kids are too young. They were begging LAUSD, allegedly, weeks prior to this assembly actually happening, they were saying, let us parents introduce this topic to our children. And many of those parents happen to be Armenian American parents, very religious. I happen to be Armenian American as well, those of you who know me. And Armenians are typically religious people. Armenia was recognized as the first Christian nation that was officially Christian in the world. So the school district, which is Los Angeles Unified School District, allegedly ignored many requests from parents at Satakoy Elementary weeks prior to this Pride Assembly happening. And parents said that they voiced their concerns that the children in elementary school are too young. They're not ready to talk about this with students yet, with their own children yet. And they allegedly asked the district and the principal to walk back the Pride Assembly. And these requests were reportedly ignored. Right now, I just want to show you a video that this is just one video. If you go in your social media feeds and you search for Satakoy Elementary School, you're probably going to find a lot of videos. A fight did break out, but I want to take a look at this video that was posted by GUSD Parents Voices, which is Glendale Unified School District Parents Voices. It is a separate school district than LAUSD, but this video was posted detailing a mother at this particular protest against LA Unified School District. Let's take a listen right now.
And the city mayors here from Burbank, and there's also state senators here that are supporting them, calling you guys phobics and homophobes and slandering. How do you respond to that? These are your elected.
Our issue isn't with the LGBT community. Our issue is with LAUSD. That is all. Our message is to keep it out of elementary schools. LAUSD needs to do a better job at protecting our kids. LAUSD needs to do a better job at listening to the parents and the constituents and the taxpayers. LAUSD needs to take us into consideration and not just push an agenda that fits their narrative. We are not going to fall victim to their narrative and their agenda. LAUSD, stop grooming our kids! LAUSD, stop grooming our kids!
Have you tried talking to LAUSD?
We've tried talking with our principal, we've tried talking with district members, we've tried talking with Avery, John Roman, all the way up. Nothing has changed and nobody has responded or listened to us or given us a chance to do anything about
them English. We don't need them to learn sex. Stop teaching my 6-year-old about sex. They will learn when they're mature. Their brains are not enough. They're too frustrated with Corona, with everything going on in life. Leave our kids alone. That's all we're asking. We have nothing against them. I have employees. I have friends. I have nothing against them. But leave my kids alone. That's what I gotta say.
Okay, so that gentleman and this woman who I believe are both parents, are saying, leave our kids alone, leave our kids alone. I want to go to the comments on this. Somebody said, keep them home. Let me see. Oh, a lot of you from Northern California. Public schools need to keep their noses out of all ideology, political, religious actions and activities. Let's see. Pull your kids out of school if you knew it was happening. I agree. I'm reading the comments here. I'm confused about Pride Month. They didn't earn anything, so they don't deserve a month. Let's see. More comments, more comments. Pride should be about accomplishment, not identity. Can anyone tell me what they're so proud of? Okay. Okay, take your kids out of that school. They're just trying to create activists. Okay, so these are some of the comments in the Facebook feed. Here's my response as a parent. The solution to all of this is opt your students out, opt your children out. I have seen now over the last 2 years, and I'm a big proponent of, speaking up and making sure that you keep open lines of communication with your teachers, with your principals regarding any concerns that you may have as parents. I think we've all arrived at the point now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we've all arrived at the point now as parents that we're understanding that the school districts and the policies that are coming down from the state level and the directives that are coming from the school districts to the schools are not on our side. And I want to reiterate, this has nothing to do with any kind of hate for the LGBT community. We do not, as parents, we do not take, I myself am speaking, I do not take any issue with the various ways that people live their lives. I really don't. But there are things and topics that belong in schools for young children, and there are topics that do not belong in schools for young children. And we know now as parents that all of these ideologies and topics are bleeding into our elementary schools for kindergarten through 6th grade, whether we speak up or not. Do we stop speaking up? No, that's not what I'm saying. We need to continue to speak up. And I commend parents like this, who we just watched on the video, who can speak with a clear mind, a clear heart, who can speak respectfully, saying we have no hate for anyone in the gay community. Our issue is with the school district improperly imposing these ideologies onto children through school assemblies without our consent. I applaud parents who continue to speak up. We need to continue to speak up. However, the solution is opt out of all of these activities. It is hard and challenging to constantly know what's going on at our kids' schools, but that is where we're at now. We are required as parents to get informed, stay informed about what is happening at schools so that we can specifically opt our children out. Do not send them to schools during those days. We know that public schools receive funding for every single head that is in those seats in school on any given day. We know that that's where the funding comes from. Keep the children home. Keep the children home. I'll say it a third time. Keep our children home. Okay, I do want to go to now something that was disappointing that happened during this incident, during this protest. And again, I will say there were protesters against the Pride Assembly happening, and there were protesters to protest the people who were against the Pride Assembly happening at the school. I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will always defend your ability to say it in a free country under the First Amendment peacefully. Okay, we do have the right to protest. This is as contentious as all of these fights are, and when I say fights, I mean verbal fights. I don't mean physical fights. I don't want to get to the physical fights yet, because there was a physical fight that happened on this side of the assembly. As contentious as all of these protests are, it truly is a gift that we are able to protest. And I want to remind us all of that. It is a gift that we are able to peacefully protest. It is a gift that both sides can stand on the streets with signs, with megaphones. It is a gift, and it is the First Amendment is something that we should all honor, even if we do not agree with the other side. We need to remind ourselves as parents, as American citizens, and remind our children that the First Amendment is a gift, and it was hard fought for and won. And in order to continue that right, we need to remember that the duty is upon us to remain peaceful, okay? Because what I'm about to show you now was difficult and frustrating because, yes, fights broke out, punches were thrown. It's been all over the news. The headline here for CBS is, let me see. Oh, wait, not CBS. KTLA, punches thrown at elementary school pride protest in North Hollywood. And I want to see if I can get this video to play right now. Where are we? Come on, play for me, play for me. Of course, it's freezing up. Here we go. Let's take a listen.
Violent when parents clash.
Many started yelling and screaming at each other, some even throwing punches. Police were called in to separate the protesting parents from those who were there to support the event at Satakoy Elementary in North Hollywood. The assembly was supposed to highlight diversity and inclusion. Instead, it turned into a display of anger and animosity.
Okay, I want to stop right there. And the reason why I'm stopping is, again, I do not condone violence. I don't care what side you're on. I'm speaking as, me, myself, and I. Jill Simonian does not condone violence no matter what side you're on. Okay? That is not the purpose of our First Amendment. However, I want to pick apart something that this anchor said. And it's funny because I can say this is from KTLA News, Los Angeles. KTLA News is ironically one of the news outlets that I used to work for here and there before coming to work for PragerU Kids. I also want to note something that KTLA was an official sponsor of the West Hollywood Pride Parade that happened this last weekend. Okay, so that said, I'm just putting that out there for full transparency. That said, the anchor, Micah Ullman, you just heard him say here that the assembly was supposed to be about diversity and inclusion, and then it turned into a message of hate. If the assembly was supposed to be about diversity and inclusion, why was it pegged as a pride assembly by the school? And why did it not include or tolerate the concerned parents who were worried that a pride assembly was inappropriate for elementary school kids aged 5 through 12? If you are a school and you are resting on the laurels of this verbiage of diversity and inclusion, then you must abide by what those words truly mean. Diversity is diversity of thought, okay? The word diversity has been crammed down our throats to translate into diversity of skin color and diversity of identities. In example, who people want to have sexual relationships with, okay? Diversity also includes diversity of thought, and that includes people who may be religious. And inclusion should include diversity of thought and include those people who might be religious. In our Constitution, in our way of government, in our First Amendment, diversity of thought is protected. Religious people have a right to be religious and to have concerns over what our children learn in school on taxpayer dimes. And that is part of inclusion. That is part of being included. Let's take a look and continue this on.
Tough lesson for children as we begin Pride Month. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade joins us live from North Hollywood with what stoked the protests today. MB.
Yeah, and Mike and Cher, while the war of words outside turned into violence inside, the assembly went off as planned.
Leave our kids alone.
There was shouting, shoving, and one person was even knocked to the ground outside Saticoy Elementary School in North Hollywood. The LAPD was there to try to keep the peace, while the dueling demonstrators clashed over opposing views about a pride assembly being held at the school.
I disagree with the fact that a kindergarten should not have to be educated on this. There comes a time and a place where they all do need that education, but kindergarten and elementary is not the place.
Los Angeles is very diverse. So in public schools, there's going to be students who have same-sex parents. So we need to talk about that.
As part of the assembly, the book, The Great Big Book of Families, which discusses LGBTQ families, was read.
There is one sentence in the book, it is many pages, but the one sentence says some families have two moms and some have two dads. It also talks about some families are raised by their grandparents, some are raised with just one parent. So it's one reference to the existence of LGBTQ families.
When we went to the educators and we said, what are you going to tell my child when he comes to you and says, you know, I have a mommy and a daddy. What does it mean to have two daddies? My mommy was pregnant with me. Which daddy was pregnant? How did the daddy have a baby? None of them were able to answer our questions. We as parents have the right to be able to determine when and where the appropriate setting is for our children to learn about that.
We're told the Pride Assembly went on as planned and the book was read.
I just got out of the assembly, to come out and see how's everything going up here. It's nothing bad. It's really like education about different cultures, about LGBT with Celebration Pride Month.
Okay, so I wanted you to see the whole piece. I do think that they actually did a pretty good job in letting both sides talk. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I have not, regarding the book, I have not personally read the book that was read at this assembly. What was the title of it again? Let me look. Can't remember the title, and I had it written down here. Never mind. So the book that was read at the assembly. Great Book of, what was it, Cam? The Great Big Book of Families. I have not read that book. You saw the soundbite of someone saying one line about some families have 2 moms and 2 dads. Okay, so if that is true about there being one single line in the book, then why, may I ask again, is the district and this particular elementary school creating an entire whole assembly for elementary age kids citing pride as the name of the assembly? Because as we know, pride now includes very radicalized ideologies involving transgender issues and talking to kids about who adults are attracted to and have sexual relations with. I personally don't think that's appropriate for young kids. And that is a concern with some of the parents, okay? Both sides can be respected, I think, without agreeing with one another. But the issue, again, is was there transparency and was there communication and was there action from the school board at LAUSD and Saticoy Elementary to actually hear and understand the parents who had concerns? That is where that's the root issue of all of this, is that parents are being trampled upon and not being heard and actually understood, and there's no common ground in the middle anymore. That the solution is not being solved. Dennis Prager's latest fireside chat, and I want to mention this, he had a really great discussion about this Pride Month. And again, this is no hate. We know right now everyone has, we're in a period of time where everyone has the same civil rights. There are no rights that are not given to people in the gay community that are given to people in the straight community. There's no such thing anymore. Dennis Prager's latest fireside chat had the issue with required celebration. Tolerance, yes. Tolerance for everyone on all sides of the issue is a moral demand. Everyone deserves dignity and respect, right? We can all offer each other tolerance to live life in the way that we see fit in a free country, as long as it's not harming anyone else and as long as it's not forced upon children. But the demand for everyone to celebrate something is not right. The solution, again, is to be informed, to keep the kids home from the district or the school that is imposing something that you don't agree with as a parent, or that it is or that may be age inappropriate. I want to take you now to, let's take you now to the comments. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Oh, here's a comment from someone in Glendale Unified School District. The general media is not sharing the truth. Glendale Unified School District has had many dozens of issues about this topic. We, Glendale Unified parents, for the last year and a half, have asked Glendale Unified School District leaders to show us parents what the actual lesson plans are, and GUSD leadership basically refuses to do so. Again, it's a transparency issue. Schools should end before June, then this will not take place in school. We homeschool and still fight the fight on behalf of other parents who can't homeschool. Sex is for adults. Prager, you are funded by charter schools. That's why you care about this. Mark, thank you for your comment. I don't believe we are funded by charter schools, but if someone from the PragerU fundraising can weigh in on this. Now, how are we funded by charter schools, Mark? Please specify, because we are a nonprofit that operates on donations, but we are not funded by charter schools. That's incorrect. Okay. You absolutely take issue with how other people live. Again, Mark, Mark, you want to control people in public and in schools. No, Mark, I don't want to control anyone. But what I want is mutual respect for everyone and the ability for children to be educated at their elementary schools and beyond in a way that focuses on academics rather than ideologies or identity groups. Thank you, Mark, for your comment, though. Again, I may not agree with what you say, but I will protect your right to say it. Okay. All right. Thank you for all the comments, everyone. Look into this story. Follow along because there are going to be more developments. Tonight, June 6th, Glendale Unified School District, which Saticoy Elementary School is not in, but Glendale Unified School District is having another school board meeting tonight, and the reports are that it's going to be very contentious because Antifa of SoCal allegedly is showing up. So make sure, Southern California parents especially, you stay informed about what's happening here. Parents who are peacefully speaking out, I applaud you. I don't condone any of the violence at all from either side. I don't think any reasonable person does. But again, the solution is to continue to voice concerns peacefully, continue to be informed, and to opt our children out. We want to continue to educate our kids in a way that is wholesome, that is academic, that really also focuses on what our rights are as American citizens and how our government works. And lo and behold, you know I'm going to share it with you, another episode of Street Smarts, which is our PragerU Kids show, although this is for middle school to high school students. This one is about how local government works. And Street Smarts is a series that we have created at PragerU Kids for the purposes of teaching children how our American government works. What is civics? We've seen many headlines over the past several weeks, especially about how the national average for civics understanding and education across the 8th grades in the United States has dropped over the last few years. So take a look at our sample of Street Smarts, just to remind you that you can subscribe to PragerU Kids for free to educate your kids about the things that schools are very few and far between educating them about.
United States. So let's go ask.
Come on. You can go without me.
Oh, there's Uncle
Sam. It's a team effort. Let's go. I need your money.
Here are the rules. There are a total of 8 questions. Each correct answer is worth $5.
Let's fast forward and get to some of the types of questions.
The good news is
the kids can keep the catch. Here we go.
Then the federal or state governments. A, cities and towns. Since the United States is a large country with diverse populations, it is believed that blank are better able to handle local issues according to their residents' needs than the federal or state governments. A, cities and towns. B, the United Nations. Or C, the Supreme Court.
Cities and towns.
All right, the kid got the answer right. And it's a quiz show that goes on and on where the kids earn cash for each question they get right. It's a really fun game show. It teaches civics. We've got episodes on local governments and towns. What are elections? I'm going to click through for everyone who is watching. Elections in the U.S., federalism.
Street Smarts.
The Electoral College, the Executive Branch, the Declaration of Independence, citizenship in the U.S. We've got an episode about the states, the Judicial Branch, Legislative Branch, Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Reminder, all of us parents and our children need to understand our rights, and PragerU Kids is filling the gap in teaching what many schools aren't. So these are the types of things that kids should be taught. I want to go to our PragerUKids.com website before I say goodbye and let you go, just so you can be reminded about all the different shows we have. Otto's Tales, Craftery. These are story time values for kindergarten. Craftery, it's a craft plus a history lesson. Street Smarts is about civics. Guess or Mess is about historical figures in history. Leo and Layla is an animated adventure taking kids back in time to meet history shaped the world. We also have Cash Course, Financial Literacy, Around the World, Global Issues that teach middle school and high schools what make America unique. How To, this is our character development series, and TBH History, To Be Honest History, about about important movements in history. PragerU Kids, it is all free for you to subscribe at PragerUkids.com. Parents, you can subscribe for free and get all of these shows in your inbox twice a week so that we can literally save America through educating our children. Okay, any final comments? I like to end on a positive note. Let me see if I have any positive comments from parents who are either following the Saticoy Elementary story. We all have the same rights. Yes, we do. Jill, you are lying. Mark Beal. I think he just likes to troll me. Joseph Marashlian, Jill Simonian, we love you. Thank you so much. Okay. Let me see. So, oh, Mark, stop trolling me. I'm not even going to read it out loud anymore. Everyone can read it for themselves. Oops, I just lost. Dave, I don't care what you do in your personal life. Just stop telling little kids about it. This doesn't belong in elementary schools, referring to the Pride Assembly at Saticoy Elementary in North Hollywood, LAUSD. I'm reading the comments. Oh, my goodness. Mark is leaving all sorts of comments. Let's see. Kathy, just like, oh, where's these comments? I'm losing them, guys. There was a comment about just like Santa Claus, some kids know and some kids don't. Let's leave it to the parents. Yes, if same-sex live together, that's the way it is. Leave it. Yes, I do think it is up to the parents to teach children about our world and all of the different ways that people live when the parent deems it to be age appropriate. In the meantime, everyone deserves dignity and respect. If we teach the golden rule to all children, and if we teach the true meanings of what diversity of thought is and what inclusion really is, that everyone deserves respect, then I think we're golden. Pun intended. Golden with the golden rule. We don't need to get into the nitty gritty and having teachers in schools telling our children about topics that should be left to the parents. We wish everyone peace through this issue, through this fight that we are trying to, through this parental rights fight that we are trying to preserve education for. And we ask you and invite you to subscribe to PragerUkids.com to stay informed and active in our children's schools and to educate your children with the American values of truth, responsibility, equality, all of those wonderful things that all children of every single race and creed and belief should learn. Okay, I'll say goodbye. Thank you for joining. And join us at PragerUkids.com.